Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Maggie Tsai. Thank you for joining us. A single mother in China uses her personal story to enlighten others who suffer from illnesses. Tzu Chi's Rhythms Monthly focuses on humanitarian culture and in-depth reports for over 2 decades. Care recipients make donations upon receiving aid supplies at Tzu Chi's distribution. Tzu Chi volunteers in Shenyang, China started a care for a single mother, Ma Xiaoqiu, since the end of 2016. Both of her twin sons suffer from cerebral palsy, autism, and obesity. She was diagnosed with myasthenia gravis due to the exhaustion of taking care of them. However, she has always stayed positive and volunteered to do good deeds in hope to reciprocate the love she received from Tzu Chi. Ma Xiaoqiu follows Tzu Chi volunteer Gao Xiuli to visit Li Ming, who lies in bed due to illness and was once losing her will to live. Ma uses her personal experience to encourage her.
I've gone to all the hospitals many times, including the first and second hospital of CMU. No one offers an effective treatment since I became ill last September. Now I'm just taking some Chinese medicine myself.
We are here to give love and blessings from the big Tzu Chi family all around the world. Therefore, I believe Li Ming will get well very soon.
Ma Xiaoqiu might seem healthy, but she has been suffering from myasthenia gravis for nearly a year. Despite her illness, she still keeps a positive mind and takes good care of her children.
Sister Ma has been participating in home visitations, learning sign languages, and joining the book club with us all this time. She is always on the Tzu Chi path and is practicing master's teachings very well.
Tzu Chi volunteers have begun to support her to take care of her 2 ill children since 2016. Now she is able to give back.
Seeing Li Ming today has reminded me how Sister Xiuli has always been there for me for this past year, and I'm excited that I can pass down this kind of love to more people in need. I'll persist in doing Tzu Chi.
A sanitation worker in Changsha, China, Li Meiwu, is known for her laughter and her worry-free attitude. However, she has suffered from heavy financial pressure after her husband was severely injured in 2015. It was Tzu Chi that brought light into her life again and provided the needed support. 3 years later, she is able to give back now. Li Meiwu needs to dump these 10 trash cans for about 30 times a day. She works over 10 hours, almost 360 days a year.
I work from 4:40 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. every day cleaning the road. The workload gets heavier if there are more fallen leaves.
In the past, her husband Sheng Zhihong was able to share her heavy workload. However, he was severely injured in a car accident in 2015. Since then, this tree rubs salt into her wound every time she's here.
It's very dangerous because these lines are too narrow. He was hit by a speeding bus at the street corner in the front, and he was severely injured. It was horrible.
Her husband was depressed and had become an alcoholic after the car accident. At the time, Li Meiwu thought about leaving the family.
If I didn't meet you guys, I might have been gone already because I thought I couldn't bear the hardship anymore, and I was also ill.
In her darkest time, Tzu Chi volunteers came and hosted a winter distribution for sanitation workers. Since learning about her family's situation, volunteers had been providing financial aids and monthly home visits for 3 years consecutively.
Now everything is getting better, and my husband has changed completely. Not only has he learned to control his temper, show care to us, and interact with others, but he can also plant some vegetables now. My 2 children have also grown up healthy and cheerful. All these are great comforts to me.
After relying on Tzu Chi's support for 3 years, Li Meiwu asked to stop the financial aid and hopes to depend on herself.
All of you have touched me deeply. Now I will never lose my temper even if I'm exhausted. I used to cry all the time, but now all my tears have turned into laughter. People on the street often ask me if I get tired of laughing. I say no because I feel very blessed every day. Even sweeping the street makes me happy.
Their story was published in the Tzu Chi Monthly magazine. Her daughter is very proud of her. Her 2 daughters followed her to collect recyclable goods on the street, and they put the 125 renminbi and 6 cents they made into the bamboo coin bank to donate to Tzu Chi. Li Meiwu's family might live a challenging life, but they've accepted the reality with an optimistic and grateful attitude. Li Leishun was a Tzu Chi volunteer in Bukit Mertajam, Malaysia. In June of this year, she passed away due to cancer at the age of 64. She has devoted herself to community care, international disaster relief, and fundraising for more than 10 years. Her Tzu Chi families held a funeral service for her to bid a final farewell and deliver their best wishes.
Going into different communities to care for underprivileged families, taking to the streets to promote 近视 aphorisms, and fundraising for disaster relief. These were charity missions that were carried out by Tzu Chi volunteer Li Leichun.
She always went out of her way to help others, humbling herself.
Miss Li decided to join Tzu Chi after reading the monthly journal. She had been involved in Tzu Chi for over a decade till she took her last breath.
She was an open-hearted and generous volunteer. When we lacked anything at the activities, she always brought her own items to donate.
We are all the seeds of great love, cultivated by her.
The Tzu Chi family fulfilled her last wishes by holding a celebration of life ceremony. The volunteers performed her favorite sign language songs, and her son also sent his blessings to her.
My mother's heart was like the vast ocean. She accepted the whole me, whether it was good or bad.
Hundreds of Tzu Chi volunteers were there to bid a final farewell to her. They believe in the next lifetime she will be back to continue serving as a Tzu Chi volunteer.
Tzu Chi's Rhythms Monthly has been in publication for 20 years. In its initial issue, the magazine interviewed the Dean of Department of Archaeology at NCKU for its cover story, History of Taiwanese People. The reports were interesting and focused on the humanitarian culture of Taiwan. Decades later, the media industry has changed, but the in-depth contents are still the key to make differences.
Our first issue was called History of Taiwanese People. We used illustration on the cover. When we did that, we actually decided that Rhythms Monthly would focus on what is important to our Taiwanese readers. We report based on the needs of Taiwan, meaning we will do reports on what Taiwanese people lack. Therefore, we need to become more international with the issues related to Taiwan's needs.
"20 years is enough time to witness the growth of a person."
This magazine, in its initial issue, explore how the people on this land came about. I think most other magazines will not focus on this.
Liu Yichang, the Dean of Department of Archaeology at NCKU, was interviewed by Rhythms Monthly in its first issue. The cover story was History of Taiwanese People. 20 years later, it is meaningful to look back at how the first issue echoed with the beginning of mankind.
I was surprised by the outcome because the reports were very interesting. It was not like a magazine that was filled with lectures. Instead, it was telling stories, talking about the stage of people in Taiwan. I still keep a copy of this magazine.
过来的样子。我自己还保留着这个杂志啊。
The fact that Professor Liu still remembers how the magazine interviewed him gives recognition to Rhythms Monthly. However, the media industry has changed a lot, and people tend to pursue what is sensational. How would a magazine that focuses on humanitarian culture be able to tell good stories?
视听众来讲的话，他们希望他们已经
The viewers and readers are used to being stimulated by the media. They might not have the patience to switch from mainstream media to a unique media.
媒体，他们可能会没有这个耐心。
This freelance reporter Yang Zhiqiang just finished a report on Rohingya refugee for Rhythms Monthly. It will be published on the 240th issue of the magazine. He thinks Taiwan's international news lacks a local view.
台湾的国际新闻
The international news in Taiwan tend to be translated and edited, and most of them are secondhand news. We seldom go to the event scene to bring back the news. We're very much limited in what we can do when we do secondhand translation and editing.
那种面向其实还是有局限性。
And because last time you mentioned the local government's name, because I didn't write it down.
To report for Rhythms Monthly, Yang Zhiqiang has gone to the border of Bangladesh and Myanmar to interview Rohingya refugees. He also risked his own safety to explore the problem of human smuggling.
如果要吸引民众真的去买到这本杂志，
To attract people to buy this magazine, the content is the most important thing. If your content can bring back changes to the current scene, then you have the power to attract readers.
如果有那个权利，就是让吸引对方来看。
With the changes in the media industry, it's difficult for a magazine that focuses on humanitarian culture to attract readers. However, journalists believe that in-depth reports that can touch people's heart is the key.
At the fourth Tzu Chi Winter Aid distribution in Paraguay this year, one care recipient generously offered her yard as the distribution venue. 12 families have received food baskets, clothing, and blankets. Touched by volunteers' dedications, the care recipient also made small donations to help those who are in need.
Tzu Chi's care recipients in Paraguay have learned the giving spirit through Tzu Chi's winter aid distributions.
Tzu Chi has held free clinics for 11 years, of which I have been present for 5. I brought my neighbors to the free clinic, and I feel happy to volunteer. No matter rain or shine, I will always be in attendance. Even without a car, I will walk to the destination. Tzu Chi helps our community by providing food to the people in need. Therefore, I feel I must do my best to help.
To reciprocate the kindness, Margarita has generously provided her yard as the Tzu Chi distribution venue.
I want to thank the volunteers from the bottom of my heart for bringing the food baskets.
Tzu Chi volunteers' next visit is the St. Austin Nursing Home.
On behalf of St. Augustine Nursing Home, I want to express our gratitude to Tzu Chi for supplying the needed goods for our seniors.
Despite the brief gathering, the Tzu Chi volunteers delivered their sincere wishes for all the seniors.
Tzu Chi's Mobile Food Pantry went to San Bernardino, California to offer wholesome foods to low-income families. The bi-weekly distributions help the community to save food costs. Unlike the usual canned food from local food banks, Tzu Chi brings fresh fruits and vegetables for the local residents to safeguard their health.
Today we received vegetables, and this time there were also more things like rice and yogurt. It's something different. It's healthy food. It's not junk food.
granola bars, cornflakes, yogurt. Yeah. Somos muchos en la casa. Somos como más de 10.
Poverty today doesn't look like it did before. It's not really visible from the outside anymore. It can be seen inside their homes in the empty fridges. The rent here is extremely high. A lot of people don't even have jobs. Many have 2 or 3 different families living in the same household. For this reason, I'm very honored to work with this group, who is always thinking of ways to help these kinds of people.
2, okay, then put the other back. Because the cost of living around here, it's not so great, so this helps us, On top of what I make, this is gonna help us throughout the week.
I've been losing a lot of weight because I've had some surgeries and radiation treatments, and I'm a low income. I don't have very much money to work with, and I do have a juicer, and that's what I'm gonna do with these vegetables.
Tomorrow's my birthday. I'll use some of the food to go with some of the things that I have to be more for everybody.
I think it's important to help others because, we're all in a community. So I feel like if we help out each other, it'll make a community stronger and make the community better.
It's really great what they're doing. They do a lot on their part. They don't know us, but they come here to bring us food. They really have huge hearts. Thank you so much.
One of the residents in San Bernardino, Dina, after receiving the produced goods, prepared a meal for her whole family. On top of that, she also shared lots of meals with her neighbors and homeless. Despite many hardships in life, she cherishes everything that she has, and she's grateful to help others in need.
We were invited down to a free food distribution today, and a personal struggle that we're going through. It brought us down here because we're definitely in need today, so we wanted to stop by to make sure that we got some goodies. And in a society where everybody has and you don't, it can do something to us mentally. And I do believe that it's important for the kids to know that no matter what struggle it is that we go through, that we could put something into our body to make us stronger physically and mentally, to take us to that next level, that it doesn't always have to be the same. Today I got the rice, I got the zucchinis, I got the potatoes, and that's pretty much the base of everything that we're gonna have here in this meal today. I'm making some Spanish rice over here, or should I say Mexican rice, because I don't really know if this is Spanish rice. We have a lot of homeless people, and we have a lot of people who, especially children, who don't get to eat. So sometimes it's my girlfriends, and a lot of times it could even be the working class. So we're delivering food whatever ways we can. And then we'll take something like our little to-go boxes, and we just try to make a meal for somebody who doesn't have at the time. And been there on my own, been in a place where I didn't have a meal, been in a place where I had more than enough meal, been in a place where I knew where resources are, and anytime I find an opportunity, I think that's where the heart is guided, to find somebody who needs and feed them. Neighbor always catches us when we're cooking.
He keeps us updated on the weather.
Do you smell my food, neighbor? Is that how you know every time I'm cooking?
No, because you keep on showing the picture.
That is a neat picture.
Happy Father's Day!
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Hit all about the stories about the system.
I swear he smells the food or something, because every time I'm cooking he comes. But it works good because I can at least talk to him from here. You got it. Neighbor, gentleman who doesn't qualify for those types of benefits, because most of the time it's children or whatever the case is. So you fall in a gap and you're hungry.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy. The kids made it with love.
Do you want me to return the plate back?
No, when you're done with you.
I will.
Okay, hold on my collection.
I will.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
I think it's a selfless act. I think that it's super awesome that somebody could reach a community that's not direct, that they don't know these people personally, that they don't hear these stories direct all the time, but that they know that the need is there and that they're coming out and they're meeting those needs, what you guys have done for our family specifically.
I want the half of life. Father, we ask that you would continue to bless Tzu Chi and the administration behind it, all the volunteers and all of the people who dedicate their time to help out other communities. We thank you, we lift them up, and we ask that you continue to bless us and them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Tzu Chi Mobile Food Pantry is like a Santa Claus. This time the delivery went to the La Puente city in Los Angeles and Wilmington to distribute gifts of healthy food. They hope that residents will be able to have both the balanced diet and less financial burden.
The residents line up nearly at the distribution site in Wilmington. There are mostly low-income Mexican Americans coming to receive the goods. From 20 years ago, Tzu Chi has been in partnership with the local church in distributing daily necessities for the community. Since last year, Tzu Chi Mobile Food Pantry started to add fresh vegetables and fruit into the scheduled distributions.
On behalf of the community members, I want to say thank you for your guys' help. You have given us what we have been lacking due to financial difficulties.
There are a lot of families here that need help. This is a great program.
Just like going grocery shopping at a supermarket, the Tzu Chi volunteers offer a variety of seasonal fruits and vegetables to the residents. All the bags and carts were filled to the rim. With these goods, they will be feasting tonight. All the colorful produce are the normally unattainable items that the residents can afford to buy for the families.
A lot of this stuff, it's the more expensive things, which is good, you know. I noticed it, they give us the more expensive things, which is great.
A volunteer, Wen Shu Mei, struggles with mobility issue due to having polio. However, this does not stop her from helping others.
This is my third time attending the Tzu Chi distribution event. It's really meaningful to be a volunteer and help those in need.
There were also college students, which themselves are living in impoverished families as well. However, they seized the opportunity to give back.
I also was living under the poverty line, and so seeing programs like this, it really makes me feel happy because I know there's a lot of help out there. When I was younger, there wasn't as much help as there is now.
I plan to continue working with Tzu Chi in the volunteering matter. I want to in the future because I want to be a doctor.
The Tzu Chi Mobile Food Pantry can fully load it with food items to help community residents. The volunteers experience the joy of giving, while the recipients can head home with healthy ingredients.
Musical volunteers from Tzu Chi Senior High School went to Malaysia to host concerts. Students share skills on martial arts and traditional Chinese music, hoping to provide local and unique culture feast. We'll leave you with these images, and thank you for joining us. Goodbye.